ChatGPT is basically a large language model which has been trained to do one thing really well. It guesses the next word in an incomplete block of text. And so if you give it a question, the way it generates an answer is by guessing the most likely word, and then the next most likely word, and then the next one. And if the answer is 1,000 words, it just generated them one at a time. So obviously it's not being intelligent, it's just guessing what a human would say in this particular instance. On top of that, one of the effects that everybody complains about, hallucinations, is a direct side effect of this particular architecture. Because if it guesses one word at a time, then the error it creates accumulates over time. Let's say it was only 99% accurate when guessing the first word. And the second word, now it's only 99% accurate if the first one was correct. But if it wasn't correct, now the error became much larger. So the longer the answer, the less likely it is to be true. On top of all that, you have to consider that this model was trained on data. The data is essentially most of the internet. Most things on the internet are junk. And so it learned things that are just not true, but it didn't have anything that told it was untrue, right? There was no opposing viewpoint, and therefore it learned things that are nonsensical. I think the best example of this I saw was that there was a tweet from April Fools that the Lithuanian government at some point published, thanking France for gifting it the Lithuanian TV tower in 1982 for its independence or something. And GPT actually learned this as a fact, that that tower was gifted by France for Lithuanian independence in 1982. The problem is Lithuania was not independent in 1982. France obviously did not gift it that tower because it's a tower, you can't actually move it. But ChatGPT learns these things, and as long as one source said this is a fact and no other source said the opposite, it must be true. One is larger than zero. Artificial intelligence is something where we have this definition. It's just supposed to be the point at which AI can do anything better than a human. And then artificial superintelligence is when AI is supposed to do everything better than all humans. But these terms are not really well defined because I don't think we know what the average human is able to do. We don't really have a specific bar to cross here. We can try to approximate this with intelligence tests or other, I've seen ChatGPT pass bar exams or things like that. That is some approximation of its ability to do things that humans can, but we have no idea, essentially. And certainly the way that we train AI right now doesn't necessarily lead to general intelligence. It just approximates some outputs that humans produce, and so basically it's just enough to fool a Turing's test. Most of the AI tools we have right now are useful but not reliable. So you can essentially use them to produce something that saves you time that otherwise you would need to do yourself, but you cannot assume that the answer can be used as is. You have to review it, you have to verify it, because they hallucinate a lot. Because if you're generating an image, it often breaks the laws of physics, just because that model did not know the laws of physics. It was just trying to guess what the most likely image with these inputs would look like. So you have to verify everything. And when I see lawyers submit legal briefs to a court that were written by ChatGPT, or when we saw a legislator in Arizona try to propose an AI bill and it had ChatGPT write the AI bill, then these people definitely don't understand the stage at which AI is right now. In fact, in my industry, there is a lot of push right now to have software engineers use AI to produce software because it accelerates their work. But that right now is still at the gimmick stage for the most part. There's some things you can automate, and maybe they add up to 10 or 20 or 30% of what software engineers tend to do. And so if you only automate those, then you've just made your team 20% more productive, let's say. But even there, you have to be careful because you'll always have a few people on the team that overdo it. And so everybody on average became more productive, but these guys used ChatGPT generated code somewhere and it broke everything, and everybody will end up spending time. So we have to be really careful. Things get funded a lot right now because a lot of money is going into AI. And some of it is not quite ready for prime time.